Good afternoon, everyone. It's my great pleasure to introduce our guest of honor and speaker, Mr. B. Prakash Garu. Prakash Garu has a 20 years experience with over 18 years into SAP. He worked as a companies like IIIC Technology, SAP Labs, and currently working as a Chief Solution Architecture at Entity Data Business Solution and Malaysia. He worked in Germany, UK and US for 10 years of his career before relocating back in India. And he graduated Geetham College and post-graduation of FS Germany and NA Aluminium of Indian Institute of Management, Kolkata. He has enjoyed exploring the digital development and applied to different business sectors, helping the customers explore the power of processing. And he has been speaker at several SAP events, universities. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. The most difficult thing is to talk to someone after lunch, right? Easy to fall asleep. I'll not make it sleepy. I'll make it interactive. I want you guys to talk. I'll ask questions and I will pinpointedly ask someone who is really sleeping. So please wake up. Okay? The topic that I have been given here was digital transformation of business. So how many of you know what kind of tools that are used for accounting or running a business when there was no computer? Anyone? No, business, totally, there's no computer. Ledgers, someone said that? Yeah, ledgers. Ledgers for accounting. And say for travel. For maybe raising an invoice. How did we manage earlier? I was told some of the MBA students are here. Can you raise your hands, please? They should be able to tell me what we were using earlier. Right. We were just noting down. We used to have one gentleman called Lala in Marwadi's company, and an accountant who will be the sole powerful man who will be debiting and crediting. He is the sole information source for the management to take the decisions of what checks to be signed and what not, what is to be purchased and what not. So the growth was, to that extent, very limited. It's all personal. So this was what we used to do. Such books used to be there, and there used to be a small, I would rather call it a cabinet where you will have cash in it. Your salaries are paid in cash, noted down, and maximum use was a calculator. Right? In this, we had issues like bookkeeping. We used to call Kata. Now we have actually apps that come out with this name, but it was basically originated as Kata, where you have debits and credits written. Anyone seen that? Now there is an app. Back then it was just a bookkeeping ledger. And it was very, the decision was, I was just telling you, decision making was purely person-centric. He knows what's happening, no one else knows. And year-end, I don't know how many of you have seen it. I worked, my first job happens to be in '95 in a company called Ion Exchange India Limited. This company is one of the largest companies in India back then, with a turnover of 400 crores. To close the books, we used to take year plus. Last year's balance sheet generation, it used to take a year. So imagine what kind of activities that used to happen. Auditing, all that used to be delayed. Then 95 is Microsoft first introduced Office. The Excel came into picture, and I am among the first few guys that used, luckily, in that company. We were able to, calculate all our invoices, all our expenditures, all our revenues. So we used to start seeing what is the revenue per month, which is itself a big achievement. If I see what I am earning in this month, as a company, it's a big achievement. It's all, as we said, people-centric. So from once the Excel got introduced, now that has gone past. Excel used to have debit and credit. Accountants are very happy crediting them and debiting them. Raise the invoice. Now, what is an invoice, by the way?
How much you are going to spend?
No, that is not invoice. Invoice is something you actually raise. It's a document that you raise against your customer after you sell your product. It could be a product or a service. But say you're manufacturing computers. So you sell a computer along with a billing document called invoice. Based on that document, you will get your money paid. So back then, raising an invoice is again a paper document, but the amount used to get captured in an Excel from that side, from the past. So around 50 years ago, a team of consultants from IBM moved out, and they started a company called SAP. How many of you heard of it? About 5, 6. SAP is called Integrated Enterprise Resource Planner. Why this integrated? It is basically connecting your production, where you produce your material, your sales, where you sell your material, your procurement division, where you buy your raw materials, right? And you also undergo other peripheral, beyond core activities for your manufacturing, selling, and then understanding what's happening in your organization. So now how things are happening is this way. You have your mobile phones with apps. Beyond, your data is so realistic that as it is happening, you can see on your mobile. So from something past simple Excels, we have moved to ERP. And ERP, I told you, right, Enterprise Resource Planner, is a software that works with every department of the company, and it's integrated. So for example, I have produced 10 computers today in my factory. Those are already available for sales in the sales department. No one needs to update it. I confirm that I produced in my software after production. It's automatically reported. That's why it's called integrated. So these silos of work that used to happen from procurement, sales, finance, production, it's all now under one umbrella called ERP, Enterprise Resource Planner. There are a few ERPs, leader being SAP. I told you, these were the guys who started it. And then we have something from Oracle. They call it themselves EBS, Business Services, and Enterprise Business Services. There are a couple of other companies like Infor. From India also, there are some companies. Infosys has specifically for banking and ERP. So iFlex is a product. It's one of the rarest things that has gone out of India is a complete ERP for banking. We don't produce much of software products. We only service a lot. So this product is a unique thing. It's come about 15 years ago. So today we are working in dashboards. You open an app, you'll get to see what is your work. It will give you a report straight away saying that you have 10 orders to attend to. It could be sales, it could be production, It could be simply inventory, right? So this kind of information availability will enable a lot of decision makers. Earlier we saw only one kata guy, sitting and helping the decision makers. Now you have tools, information that's available on your mobile platform to see a dynamic situation as it is happening in the organizations. So what do organizations want? What do these businesses want? They want a transformation continuously through digital. Operational efficiency. Yesterday I have been producing 10 computers in say 10 days. I want to produce in 8 days. So I'm improving my efficiency. How do I do that? I probably procure my materials and keep it ready. The lag time I'm reducing. Or I may be improving my assembly line efficiency by organizing better. I may be also deploying 2 or 3 more personnel to produce faster. So there are several such things. Each organization has got their own way to do it. Operational efficiency. Process streamlining. I was just telling you how we do the process streamlining, right? I'll probably improve number of headcount to do it faster. Or maybe I will sequence my operations in such a way that I won't really delay anywhere. So I will continuously improve my efficiency. Any organization, this is a continuous process. You create a software, you have a better thing to create. They created an R2 architecture, client server. How many of you heard of client server here? Client server is simply you have a server you're accessing through a laptop or a desktop. That used to be the way we used to work earlier. After that, there is an R3 technology. There is a client, there is a middleware, and there is a server backend. Why this middleware? To improve the efficiency. Now, it's moving from there to in-memory computing. We'll see what is in-memory computing in a few slides. That's the latest thing that's happening right now. So from client-server technology to in-memory computing, we are streamlining processes, and now we got to industry best practices. I'm in banking. My banking is not like a manufacturing company. So manufacturing has production, I have financial products. How do I differentiate how my software would support me? Right? There's a difference. Don't you think so? So industry-specific solutions started evolving. It could be for chemical, pharmaceutical, or banking, as I just mentioned, or you have, in banking, in chemical, you have several fertilizer, then intermediates, then APIs, active pharma ingredients, and so on. Then we need quantifiable savings. On all the operations that you are doing in your organization, your approach should be increase your savings, increase your efficiency. Better visibility, where I am spending what is my inventory cost. I have produced 15 laptops every day for the last 1 month, and all the 150 laptops are lying in the inventory not selling. So how do I take care of that? That visibility I should know. Oh, I have this many stock with me, I will have to push it out either by a discount or by finding a better distributor and so on. And then you have improved decision making. How do you make decisions? Some of the MBA guys are here, right? You have the decision making tree. Anyone can tell me how do you make the decision? Anyone, please? You have to say, go to forum from here. What is the decision? How do you go? Sorry? From here you can go by car, you can go by bike, you can take a rickshaw, you can go to a bus. And what is the critical path method? Should I go via Pragati Nagar? I'll get stuck. Should I go via Nizampet, again get stuck, or should I go via Balanagar? Though I get stuck, I'll at least move in time. So you calculate the critical path method. PERT and CPM you must be going through, right? So these things come into your regular operations as well. PERT and CPM methods are common everywhere. We continuously apply them in our lifestyle. So to get to forum, this is what I'm doing. I'm probably going to Balanagar and I reach faster, though it's slightly 1 or 2 kilometers more. So this is my decision making. I make my decisions based on the inputs. Which line I'm going to have difficulty in traveling or getting stuck. We need to assess that, and then your decision making process gets faster. Similarly, in an organization, say if you're in a finance position, you should be able to tell what is going to be your budget, what is going to be your expenditure, how much you can release your budget for that particular department for their expenditure and so on. And then we have customer and vendor satisfaction. Why should we need a vendor or a customer satisfaction? This side is complete silent. Why should we need a customer or a vendor satisfaction?
Improve business.
Sorry?
Improve business.
Improve your sales. Right? Profit.
Satisfy the customer needs.
Like?
Quality.
Yeah, we need, I know, there are several customers and each customer needs different, their needs are to be definitely satisfied to have your customer, those are to look at your customer. A customer might probably requires a discount, probably requires a better configuration of your product, or probably just requires a faster delivery, right? So you have to assess that customer, what the customer is looking at, and then make sure you provide that so that you can have your organization running. Customer is the backbone for your organization. And why vendor? Why should you satisfy a vendor? Customer is running our business, is giving us money, so you're interested to take care of customers' needs. But why should you satisfy a vendor? Vendor is someone who is supplying you, right? You are his customer. So why should you take care of your vendor? Sorry? Availability of material to you. So he is satisfying your needs. The vendor is satisfying your needs because you're his customer. He is giving his product at your liking, at your cost, at your delivery schedules. So you have your preference for your vendors. So both satisfaction is critical to your business. Eventually, your business has to grow, and a business wants mainly these things: a business growth, and operational efficiency, process streamlining continuously to improve yourself, best practices, and then quantifiable savings. This is a continuous growth. And how are we achieving it? We are achieving through digital transformation. How is it helping? As you are moving from writing down on paper to an ERP, an integrated enterprise resource planner, you're keeping all your data, all your analytics, all your artificial intelligence. These all things will come later unless and until you have a process and data. If you have a process and data, you can go robotic process automation, artificial intelligence. And I can countless give you, how organizations are doing these things. But basically they need data. How many of you heard data lake? Data lakes? Data lakes are nothing but vast amount of data present in a few servers. Vast amount of data. Imagine what kind of data Amazon must be producing every day. They must be having globally 1 billion customers. Even one transaction from billion is 1 billion transactions. Billion transactions, purchasing average, assume say 1,000 rupees. 1,000 billion rupees being purchased from Amazon every day. And what kind of data they are generating? Your liking, they know. What have you purchased last week? They know. Last week, say you have purchased a fridge, they will tell you what components on the top of fridge would go. You purchase a laptop, they will sell you headphones. You purchase you can also see that, right, in your Facebook account and so on. Last time you say purchased a sari or something on a body, next time you will get some other pop-up similar one to buy. This is all happening because of artificial intelligence that's running behind your, but they are assessing you, they are assessing your behavior on these platforms, social media platforms, and giving you that information. And they are making you addicted. Last time you have seen a movie, you bought book my show, you bought a movie tickets. Next time they will propose you something else. It's a continuous process. So coming back to ERP, these are the core functions of any organization. They will have production, they will have procurement, you have subcontracting sometimes, you will have customers, vendors, just spoke about them, and you're servicing through sales and marketing. You're reaching sales and through sales, you're reaching your customers, right? Thank you. Thanks a lot. So through sales and marketing, we are reaching our customers. We are executing projects. A project could be selling 500 laptops to IARE. This is also, so you have tied up with probably Dell or some other corporation, and whole thing that they will purchase things from China. All their suppliers are say from China. They purchase everything. They tell the designers what is to be purchased. They subcontract those modules which are to be prepared, chips and so on. They do the assembly in their production. Take subcontractors, help them there, and then intermediate suppliers they are fetching from here. But how do we track all this? Whom are you purchasing? What are you purchasing? How much have you spent? You should know, right? A Dell-like corporation who produces about 1 million laptops a month, where do they get that information? How much each laptop would cost? It's called product costing in ERP. I would know what my product costs today, how much I have made profit on that. And how do I do that? I do that through integrated enterprise resource planner. So this is addressed by digital transformation from something like Excel. You cannot do these things in Excel. Simply not possible. You can probably do 10 laptops or 150 laptops, but you cannot do 1 million laptops. With several production lines across the globe, one in Taiwan, one in Australia, one in Europe, one in India. So you need a real integrated view of all these operations. How much should I produce in Taiwan to service my laptop queries customers that I have from China or from India or from Singapore and so on. So some of the production units have come up like that in China, where they will do mass development and they deploy these integrated ERPs very fast. The best part is I can't see light on this. Okay, the best part is this tracking your daily consumption and site progress to avoid site survey. I don't need to see on ground what is the intake of materials. I should be able to assess where I am, how much I have to produce, and how much I have to selling. This month I may be selling a million laptops. Next month I may be selling just 500,000. So there is a dip of 500,000. How do I take care of it? Do I have already stocks to take care of it? Or do I have to replan or sell somewhere else or ship somewhere else? So all these decisions you should be able to do only when you have the information. The decision maker, earlier it was Kata, the guy sitting in front of the desk, to now an integrated business planning solution called ERP. So these are some of the enhanced, we call it streamlined procure to pay. Procure to pay is I'm buying raw materials and then I'm paying them. That's a process. It's called P2P, procure to pay. Then we are calling plan to product. I design a product, I plan, and I produce that product at a cost. I have order to cash. Could you please sit down, ma'am? We have O2C, it's called order to cash, and we have request to service, R2S. So these are all the lines that save you money. That save you money. And these are horizontal applications. Okay, we have a cross application, I know, they're called horizontals. These horizontals are human resources, operating all those operations, and then finance, making sure all the finance is being taken care of. How many of you know RDBMS? I think I am getting slowly into your subject now, right? From business to technology. RDBMS is your database, relational database management systems, right? What kind of RDBMS do we have? Anyone? Sorry? MySQL is an RDBMS. DB2 is an IBM product. SQL is Microsoft. DB2 is IBM. We have similarly Oracle. So the operating system we have is Windows, right? Beneath everything that interacts with the hardware is operating system. On the top of it, we have a database where you store the data. It could be MySQL, it could be SQL, it could be Oracle. Oracle has several versions and so on. And on the top of it, we have ERP, Enterprise Resource Planner. This sits on any kind of database, and SAP is one of them. I draw you back always to SAP because that's a standard in ERP. So if you know SAP, you know ERP very well. It's as good as that. So if you see the relational databases, we have SQL commands to extract the data, you store the data in the data storage, and you have replication of this data. Why do you replicate the data in the database? Any idea? You store certain database. Why do you replicate it? Why do you want to have one more version of that data? To modify?
The contents of it.
We need some original data, that is make an exact copy of that original.
That's for backup, right? But I will still replicate it for my business reporting purposes. I will do indexes and replicate data for easy access. On one side, business is inputting the data into database and you cannot extract at the same time. So you replicate that data to extract the reports. So that is the biggest problem with RDBMS. With RDBMS, you have to, your business functions and reporting do not function together. So we have to, midnight, after everyone logs out, you replicate the data and make that data available for decision making. Yesterday, I have produced 1 million laptops. But I don't know what I'm going to do. Right? I still don't know what is happening today. With RDBMS, that is the main problem. So how do we overcome? So we have overcome with a new area of technology called in-memory computing. In-memory computing is, how do we have the databases? We spoke about OS, right? We spoke about OS, we spoke about a database, and then application lying on a server, right? Eventually what happens? This whole data gets into magnetic tape. Basically, entire storage eventually happens on a magnetic tape in a hardest you might have seen, right? Eventually it stores there. But now, with in-memory computing, I am going to store it on a chip. You have heard of RAM, right? Random access memory. I am storing all my data there. But random access memory is a temporary thing, right? It only works when it is on. You fetch the data from database, store in RAM, you do your calculations, your algorithms work there, and you push the data back or to the application. That's RAM is meant for. However, these two layers are compressed into this. Sorry, if I touch it, I don't know, it's a touch screen. So if I compress my RAM into database and store the data in that random access memory, that's in-memory computing. The advantage is that in RDBMS, we do row store. So if you have a SQL query, you will say select star or select so and so fields from so and so table to extract for return. But when going to in-memory computing, you can do columnar search also.
Columnar search helps faster because I can do the transactional
query as well. So today I purchased or sold 150 laptops. I know 150 laptops, I have sold it say at 15 lakhs. And I will now query 15 lakhs how much I have sold today, 15 lakhs plus those laptops. So I won't go to the row storage, I'll go to the columnar, directly go to 15 lakhs and get the information from related to that 15 lakhs. So that's the biggest change in memory computing. So why this, how does this help? This helps two ways. One is no aggregates and redundants. I just told you, right, we are replicating the data in RDBMS. I don't need to replicate. One single source of information, fetch from there. Input and output at the same time because of the speed that in-memory computing provides. It's very fast, 1800 times faster than RDBMS. So on the fly, you can fetch the data and input the data. So this is something, a big change in SAP. SAP has brought this technology out. This happened in 2011. And initially they have introduced only in analytics. Now they have ERP as well. So reconciliation, elimination of data is simpler. It is capable to do all the real-time operations, and you can do predictions now. RDBMS predictions are very, difficult. You do a how many of you heard of predictive analytics? Anyone heard predictive analytics? Predictive analytics are some algorithms. I will show you one of the reports that we have done in a couple of slides. It will tell you if you perform 10% growth in this year, what is going to be my EBIT? EBIT is my earnings before tax. And how do I achieve that? if I just improve sales by 10%, what am I going to earn? As a, eventually, before tax, EBITDA is something what we always calculate before we report to the government. So this is a value, because of the in-memory computing. I see someone sleeping but don't sleep. You want any tea break or something right away? Or am I so sing-song that you feel sleepy? Yeah. So this is a value map. If you see, this value map actually helped the core logistics, the core finance we spoke in a business environment, changing to streamline procurement, which I spoke about them, right, a couple of slides ago, and how they are evolving into efficient procurement, real-time inventory management, extended warehouse management. This is production planning with demand and supply. You will start forecasting how much you have to produce. If you know advanced information, isn't it good? Right? I can plan for next 1 year how much I have to produce. Done, right? I don't need to worry. Plan and produce. Over. So similarly, you have advanced ATP available to promise. When I will sell my product to the customer, I will promise today. These all things are value added from core operations. And that is happening on UI5. How many of you know UI5? HTML5? All our websites are right now on HTML5. So these are very user interactive and making life easier. So in-memory computing, because we had in RDBMS so much of data, so much of aggregation, indexes, so many tables. See, these are all the tables in SAP. In finance alone, there are 262 tables. Each table containing not less than 70, 80 fields to 50, 160 fields. That amount of data is getting calculated here. This is what in-memory computing has done. Just brought it to 7 simple tables out of 262. So I am not replicating data. I am not doing any, aggregations, replicate, indexes and so on. How am I doing that? This is called Universal Journal Table. It is taking care of your journal ledger. It's taking care of your profitability, material ledger, asset accounting and management accounting. All in one line. So a click of button will tell me what is my product costing because of material ledger. These are some of the advantages with that. If I go in detail, it will take a lot of time. But it is a very interesting area because you see these things completely changing from multiple sources of processing to single source of processing. Advantage is you are accessing data single source, you are doing a real-time processing, you are not wasting time in meetings telling your data is different, my data is different. I have executed my report, this is my data. All this is gone in meetings now. Simply execute the button, run the report, talk about it. It is fetching you 1800 times faster than any other database. In sales, these are all the operations that used to happen in traditional ERP. With in-memory computing, just one single dashboard to clear off everything. So I am not doing multiple actions. There are so many people sitting. 17 people used to do the top line activity. This is just 2 people. One guy is selling, another guy is delivering. And this is a very interesting development with in-memory computing is they brought OLAP and OLTP together. OLAP is your analytical processing, OLTP is your transactional processing. So your transactional data is available for analytics. That's the best part of in-memory computing. So I know today's transactions right now, how much I have sold, how much I have produced, what is my bank account, what is it telling me, how much money do I have, and so on. And these things are making me do far more better things on AI, RPA. I will give you a couple of examples of how we have done with those customers, how this has been a base. So now we are getting into the latest areas which might probably interest some of CSE guys here. Digital enablers are improving customer experience. We were speaking of customer needs. Now we are talking about customer experience. So we are not just servicing the needs, now we are even taking care how he is feeling about it. Similarly, you have VM and data analytics. Data analytics is, though being there from the time that ERPs have come, it is, I think, data analytics, though it is there, best example I can give you is, we will have balance sheets of every company, right? They will report, and 10 companies in one industry are clubbed together and they will publish an industry report. That is a data analytic report. But now that is happening live. What is happening in banking industry in India versus banking industry in US, you will be able to fetch that information on a click of button now, which never used to happen. And these are all automized now, they generate these reports automatically. This is one such dashboard. You know your sales quantity, how much you have been selling. These are your products. How much each product you have sold. What is your planned selling? What is your actual? Obviously there will be a difference, right? You plan to sell 100 products, but you are able to sell only 50. That difference is coming out here. Similarly, billing versus collection. How much you have invoiced and how much have you got your money back. And this is your cash position in the organization, funds position. Funds could be cash at bank, credit limits, FDs and debentures, mutual funds, and so on. So why this slide is a CFO slide. He is continuously monitoring his balance sheet, his income and expenditure, and he is knowing whom he has to pay. Top 10 payers, so that he can calculate his checks and balances better. This used to be a Kata book with an intuition. I think I now need a break. What do you guys say? Break. Well, I see sleepy faces, then I can't take it. I can tell stories to wake you up, but I don't want to do that. We are in a serious subject. I can tell a very nice story. Probably why not? How many of you know, I'm sure some of us know Hindu mythology, right? And there is this gods meeting going on. Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma, Sun God, Chandrudu, and then Yama, they all are meeting to decide some organizational plan. So the meeting place is given, there's some X place, so everyone sat there. Yama came a little late, so all their vehicles are sitting outside, Vishnu's Garuda is outside, Shiva's Nandi is outside, and Vishnu is inside, and then Yama comes in. Yama uses his bull. Okay, let's call him bull. So he also comes in. Everyone is parked out. Yama just got down his bull, is walking inside. He looks at a tree. A small bird is, making some, noise. He looked at it and smiled it, walked inside the room. Now everyone is afraid there outside. All the drivers, right? They all sat together. Why Yama had seen this little bird this way? Then they all come to a conclusion saying that Garuda is a very fast bird. So he can take Garuda somewhere and put them there. Garuda takes that little bird to beyond 7 seas and puts him into a Rishi's Kamandalam. You know that, right? Inside a small container, a vessel. And he comes back. Everyone is happy. Finally, the meeting is over. And Yama comes back and looks at that tree. The bird is not there. He smiles and goes off. Now, everyone stops Yama. Why are you looking for that bird? So Yama said, he has to die 7 seas away in that vessel. The death is written there. There's a snake waiting for that bird. How come that thing is here? Is what was my smile when I walked in. So this is how the life is. And it has to happen. It has to happen. That's it. So why this story is, it struck me because, how much ever we do, whatever we do, ultimately what is written will happen. That's my intuition as well. So let's take a break with this and we will probably assemble in 10 minutes. Thanks.
Betul.